episode of Super Action Bros. I'm Kristen.
I'm Christopher.
And on today's episode, we're taking a look at the official CinemaSins video for everything wrong with Jumanji in 17 minutes or less.
Yes, and like we saw in honest trailers, we realized it was dark as fuck.
And they didn't have much to say negatively.
No, they didn't. So we're expecting a whole lot from CinemaSins since it's like 17 minutes, pretty much 17 minutes or less. So we're just gonna dive straight into this, and then we'll be able to talk about so much more probably afterwards of what maybe honest trailers may have missed out on. So let's just dive on into this again for everything wrong with Jumanji in 17 minutes or less. So here we go.
Man, they sure did go all in on the make the kids look dirty makeup. Did they dig that hole with their faces?
Don't worry, it's just a pack of wolves.
I mean, they'll only tear us limb from limb if they get any closer, but this board game is super scary, so let's continue. We see throughout the film that the game lures players in with its hypnotizing drum beats, but why do it now, when no one is around to hear it?
All yours, Alan.
Thanks, Bill.
All yours. The kid clearly rode across when it said don't walk. Plus, aren't you supposed to walk your bike across the street? I'm just saying Bill should have at least given Alan a stern talking to. Were all these bullies seriously hiding out behind the statue in anticipation of Alan riding by? How do they know his schedule so well? This is an absurd amount of reconnaissance to plan an otherwise standard nerd beating.
Prepare to die, Parrish!
Come on, kid. His actual name is Parrish. Prepare to perish. Parrish was just sitting there for you and you missed it.
Carl, you should know better than to let the boy play in here.
Sam admonishes Carl for letting Alan play in the factory after telling Alan the factory isn't a playground, when all Alan is doing is literally just standing around and talking.
We're just friends. Not anymore.
So you're saying she's my girlfriend now? Sweet. Wait, why do you still look angry? The Jessup gang proceeds to beat up Alan outside his father's shoe company, even though there were clearly adults milling around in the background just seconds before.
I know, right? Not doing shit.
I haven't seen this many negligent adults since I watched all 103 episodes of
Yeah, guy's bike!
Billy takes off on Alan's bike, but who gets Billy's bike? Does he just leave it there? Does one of the other bullies take it with them? That means there should be a kid in that mix who's walking 2 bikes home, and I'm not seeing it. Hey look, it's a disheveled, bloodied kid casually walking into a hard-hat construction zone. Guess we should all just go about our business then. This dude watched a child dig some sort of ancient box out of the side of a construction site, but doesn't do or say...
Hey, he's just standing there like, what the fuck, dude?
Union-mandated coffee break.
What was that? You heard it too? Of course I heard it.
Besides the hair color, this movie may have set the record for kids that look the least like their eventual adult selves.
I found this really weird game in the factory. A game?
Wait, there's no f***ing way that Alan fit that game into his suitcase, especially since he had all that food stashed in there before he even packed it. Also, I thought Alan was super psyched to run away, and the appearance of Sarah didn't even deter him, but now he's ready to abandon the entire plan just to play this game? How much hold does this thing have over him?
Jumanji.
Roll credits.
You roll the dice to move your token, doubles gets another turn, and the first player to reach the end wins. You want to play?
I understand there's some magical influence here, but this sounds like a boring f***ing game. The instructions just say to roll the dice and move your so why would Alan be so f***ing excited about playing?
I quit playing board games 5 years ago.
What was behind Sarah's hilariously specific board game embargo? Did she have a traumatic Candyland incident? Was there an ankle injury related to shoots and ladders? These bat holes wait to attack Sarah until after Alan's turn, and after he's sucked into the game, probably because they've been trained in cinematic timing. Yeah, they're terrifying and definitely a nuisance, but these bats aren't doing jack to Sarah except flying around. Maybe they're trying to teach her about becoming a symbol of hope to a crime-ridden city or something like that. Damn it, you just showed the year on the first 2 time periods, but now you're expecting me to do math and figure out what the date is? I was told there would be no f***ing math.
I'll have to get a locksmith out for this one.
Spooky Mansion comes complete with its very own lock mystery door that the realtor lady just didn't feel the need to unlock or break down herself before selling it to somebody.
I'm going to Motel 6.
This is Tom Bodette, and we'll leave product placement on.
That's an African bat. Some kid said she saw a bunch of those back in the 60s.
Really moving? 26 years later, and a random expositional exterminator happens to remember some kid saying she saw the same kind of bat? What's worse is that it's not even exposition we need. Also, how does a kid scared out of his mind give detailed enough information to identify the species of a winged creature of death that came after them, let alone 2 kids
26 years apart?
If the bat that Peter saw was one of the ones Sarah saw back in 1969, how is that bat still alive 26
that's
years later?
magic.
Do
I
all
go
the
with
animals
magic
that
on
got
that. Magic, that
live
one,
forever?
yeah.
Do they have the ability to reproduce?
Bats aren't what I worry about.
Elderly bat enthusiast in scary attic with 2 underage children feels the need to up the creep factor to 11 by telling the story of another minor who was murdered and dismembered, and probably buried somewhere in the house. Because who doesn't love frightening children? Lilith was able to get this place in tip-top shape by herself within a day.
I know, that's all they show is her.
Is at the bottom of the other stack. That's because Monopoly, much like Jumanji, tears people's lives apart. Back in 1969, they had to bury the fuck out of this game to prevent it from endangering anyone else. But it's been hanging out up here for 26 years without any problem until now.
Let's bring it over here.
Sure, it's a cool box, but there's no way the kids would know that this game is the source of the drumming noise that terrified them mere moments ago.
It's gotta be microchips or something.
Yes, the progress of technology joke is cute, but how exactly would microchips do this? It's clearly magnetic.
Yeah, it's
you think it's magnets.
From Mr. Wizard or Mr. Nye the Science Guy, we all know this be magnets. How did they know to look for information from the magic green circle? There's no reason for them to be leaning in here, or really to assume anything is about to happen. Those mosquitoes are the size of birds. If the bats are genuine African bats, and later we see other real animals, why do the mosquitoes get the growth hormones when the others don't?
Yeah.
Judy knocks one mosquito out the window, and the other two mosquitoes follow. Mosquitoes aren't hive mind insects. They just kind of do their own thing. Why do the two mosquitoes follow the first one out the window when there are two easy targets standing right in front of them?
This will not be an easy mission. Monkeys slow the expedition.
Why does he grab the dice here? I'm guessing there's some BS story reason he needs to have them. But why, in this instance of monkey panic, would he think he would need them with him? Also, all the other times the players roll the dice, something's happened to them. But on Peter's turn, the monkeys show up in the kitchen. Sure, they eventually go down there to check out that noise, but basically they could have kept playing upstairs with little consequence. Jesus Christ, these murderous, marauding monkeys, man. Let me get this straight. He grabbed the dice so that 60 seconds later they could look at them and remember they were playing a game? I know I sinned the dice grabbing once, but here's another sin for having such an unnecessary and flimsy reason.
Uh-oh. I didn't see this part.
And apparently no one else did either. Why the did Judy, Peter, Alan, and Sarah not look at the only other written text on this game?
Thank you!
40-page instruction manual.
The instructions say if we finish the game, it'll all go away.
We've only had mosquitoes and monkeys so far. Why not stop the game here before it gets worse? Unless the animals are completely indestructible and impervious to animal control,
That's
monkeys
true.
and a few giant mosquitoes seem pretty easy to manage, right? Sure, later on we discover the mosquitoes are making people sick, but Judy doesn't know that. It takes movie nearly 30 minutes to finally mork.
Mork.
Where's my mom and dad?
This house has been empty for years.
Wait, this isn't a big leg situation where Alan wakes up as a grown man. He's been living inside the game for 26 years and could clearly note the passage of time. Sure, he'd be looking for his parents when he came back, but he would totally know that it's been a long while since he left. Looks like Alan never outgrew his running out into a busy street without looking habit. When it comes to the monkey CGI in this movie, I'm guessing the CG stands for complete garbage. Also, is this a standard police procedure for shotgun storage? Loaded, safety off, and vertically stored? Is this to fight off all those sudden car top killers I've been hearing about? Aunt Nora seemed to think the shittiest town to ever exist is the perfect place for her bed and breakfast.
When his kid went away, Sam put everything he had into trying to find him. I don't think anybody loved his boy more than Sam did.
Random homeless dude is extremely knowledgeable about the family dynamic between Sam and Alan.
The one random dude where we think we're going to see him
I see him
again.
now and then. They're over on Adams Street.
I really hope the squatter clarified off screen that Alan's parents are actually in the cemetery.
That's true.
Because if he didn't, then
That's the gangster.
Ooh, nice boots, Mrs. Thomas. But don't you want something a little comfier for the ambulance ride? That's more like it.
Oh, I didn't even see that part.
Get through the glass.
Is Alan a seasoned vet at fighting all the creatures in the game, or is he this comic relief? He was a badass when facing down the lion earlier, but now he's freaked out about a fucking bug? Realtor lady's car keys were left in the ignition, and her car in the middle of the road. The guys in the ambulance call for any kind of backup to get the wreck cleared away, or do a few giant mosquitoes get the same martial law treatment as a zombie apocalypse?
Piece of cake.
Yeah, but what happened to the giant mosquito that was lodged in the windshield? It just flew away after being previously obsessed with biting these assholes. Even though there's a literal lion somewhere in the house, Alan and therefore movie has time for this. Whoa, did they have a barber training course in Alan's jungle? Cause that's a pretty stellar self-cut.
I've seen things you've only seen in your nightmares.
Ah, so Alan saw an early cut of Bicentennial.
Oh!
Sarah Whittle.
So let me get this straight. With one roll of the dice, Alan lost 26 years of his life. But Sarah just got briefly chased by a few bats and lived a fairly normal, if traumatized life. But what happened to the bats? They didn't put anyone else in town.
That's
This
true,
place
it's
gives me
true.
the creeps.
Said Peter, staring up at what was probably the nicest looking house in the neighborhood.
I was that little boy, Sarah.
I like
You
that.
killed her.
Character gets shocking news and immediately passes out cliche. Well, it really feels like this was a 90s thing, doesn't it? Look,
Yep,
I know
it was.
they've got to have Sally to play the game, but did they really need to kidnap her from her own home? Also, sure, it was shocking for her to see Alan alive, but they didn't drug her, right? She stayed passed out on this entire trip back to the parish house.
My father could barely hug me, let alone cut me into little pieces.
I'm not not quite sure your syllogism is valid, since your presupposition of fathers who don't hug don't dismember is likely...
It's like, yeah, sure.
Playing a little game. Now, we're all gonna sit down. We're gonna finish it. It's your turn.
Just a few minutes ago, Alan was lecturing the kids about how dangerous this game is, and how impossible it is to win. But now he tracks down Sarah, kidnaps her, and forces her to play the game? Jesus, this movie's unexpectedly dark. Did I miss a Blumhouse logo?
Harvest time!
Wait, that's it? They just had to free Peter from the one pod in the Vine system to get out of the immediate danger? What the hell are the actual rules for this game? In one roll, you can get just a brief but ultimately harmless vegetation attack, and in the next one, you're banished to the jungle for 26 years?
Oh my God! My car!
How long has Carl been looking for his cruiser? Alan and the kids have gone to the factory, discovered his parents are dead, stolen the car, taken a nap, went through the lecture about how dangerous this is.
That's like a long ass time.
About the magical vine. But Carl's just now finding it.
He's just now finding it.
Okay, I'll buy that nobody's heard the monkeys and the lion messing around inside. But no one hears or reports these f***ing gunshots. It takes Carl driving up to the scene for anyone to recognize what's going on. Carl gets in his car and drives away without securing the area, calling for backup or calling in the report of a strangely dressed dude destroying
He's not a great cop.
He's not. Gun in a residential neighborhood.
Everyone in this town has called me crazy ever since I told the cops that you were sucked into a board game.
So you changed your last name and didn't leave town? And didn't change houses either?
Thank you.
While we're at it, are you even a real psychic? If you are, surely you would have predicted this. And you didn't. In addition to training at Juilliard, Robin Williams attended the Prometheus School of Running Away from Things.
Yeah, you go left or right.
You didn't get this here. You're not a postal worker, are you?
Man, some of these jokes have really not
aged well.
So Alan tracked this bird based on just knowing it would go towards water, and he somehow found it this quickly. And there was absolutely nothing wild about that goose chase, or pelican chase, or African
chase.
Okay, fine, maybe living in the jungle 26 years taught you this skill, but convenient fish is still convenient. Also, how did this f***er survive as a kid inside the Jumanji jungle? This kid gets beat up by 6th graders. What chance did he have against all the creatures that live inside the game?
Nice work. Come on, give me the game. Let's go.
Have we had any indication of this sudden dynamic between Alan and Peter? I mean, I guess he's supposed to be a father figure that didn't have a good enough example or something, but this is totally manufactured, considering they've been essentially equals in this movie so far.
Every time there's trouble, I run into you.
I don't know what you're talking about.
All right, I'm taking you in for questions.
I'm not going anywhere.
Every time? You mean like the 2 times? Because currently there isn't much trouble going on, and neither of those times had anything to do with anything Alan did. How are these animals still stampeding together? I mean, I'm not sure of the ground speed velocity of an African zebra, but I'm guessing it's not the same as the elephants and rhinos, with or without coconuts.
Again, though, like you said, magic.
Monkey Peter survives this. Van Pelt strides purposely toward the Sir Save-A-Lot like this is all part of the plan, even though he's new to town and from a very different time period entirely, and the building offers no clear advantage to what he's trying to accomplish. This works.
Now what?
This works.
We're going good. But why? Officer Carl here just let you go and was on your side. What on earth is there to gain from locking him to his car?
Around that time, yeah.
God damn it. Not only are these f***ing monkeys able to operate the clutch of this motorcycle despite none of them, they've also figured out how to operate the siren. These monkeys and the bike they rode in on. Sarah and the kids are able to pull off this Home Alone-style trap for Van Pelt, despite zero communication with each other. Also, this is a moderately sized department store, and they're being tracked by an experienced big game hunter, but whatever. Bring on the pratfalls.
I could have shot you at any moment.
Then why didn't you?
You didn't roll the dice. Alan did.
But the f***ing monkeys are screwing with everyone, and Peter's the one that rolled them. The giant mosquitoes didn't seem to care who they were stinging. Judy rolled the stampede.
Thank you!
Exactly. There is no reason for Van Pelt to have such a huge killing boner for Alan. Remember the 90s when we all thought things chaotically crashing into lots of other things was hilarious and exciting? Yeah, me neither. How do you escape certain death when you've painted yourself into a corner? A latex machina, of course.
Where's Peter?
I'm here.
Oh, great.
Really? I mean, given the amount of crazy that's happened, this is arguably the best case scenario. Peter just has some extra hair for the moment, and all they have to do is finish the game to reverse it. Why would you get out of the car? All right, another lazy setup for a not funny gag involving a monkey. Also, you know, for a stampede, these animals are really good about staying on the road.
We're going to go in here, sit down, we're going to finish that game.
Is there some rule that they have to play the game in the same location? This game
I
has
know.
more unexplained rules than that special room at my grandma's house. I'm not saying this magical vine couldn't compact this police cruiser like this. I'm just saying, why would it want to? And also that it couldn't.
Every month at the quarter moon, there'll be a monsoon in your lagoon.
That's less of a riddle and more like a straight-up, there's a monsoon coming. This is what happens when you let the writer's assistants take the wheel, Jumanji. That's why these idiots keep waiting for the consequences to show up before rolling again. I feel like if they just rolled one after another, they could have been finished before the first drop hit the ground.
What is that?
Fucking hell, man. The game promised a monsoon, not a f***ing mutant crocodile. Everything else has been extremely specific about the threat. Hang on, the stampede basically takes out an entire wall of this home earlier. How did this water even collect? Oh, looky here. Did the game manifest a helpful stagehand?
Oh shit, I didn't even see that.
It's a crocodile. Alligators don't have that little fringe handling.
Rather than kiss the love interest, Alan chooses to mansplain the difference between alligators and crocodiles. So, Alan will be excellent at CinemaSins. Despite the water being everywhere in the house, this room is bone dry. Never thought I'd find the effects in Flubber to be fantastically realistic, but compared to this, it's a masterpiece. But why are they giant? Make up your mind, game. Actual animals or monster versions. This axe gag was actually pretty clever, so please, Peter Monkeytail, ruin it by breaking the fourth wall. Thanks. Jeez, he just sunk into the floor below? Why didn't he just fall all the way through the quicksand then? Sure, it'd be a pretty high drop, but it's better than getting stuck in the fucking floorboards. Considering the amount of hair on these hands, I guess Alan was also cursed with the monkey virus. Stand up. Dan Pelt's coat of many colors makes sense, unless you remember that paint is not pre-mixed. All of that paint that fell on him should have appeared white. As Alan makes his final roll, now is as good a time as any to recognize exactly how little this movie has cared about game continuity. In fact, I actually wrote a 917-word detailed diatribe listing 23 cases of forward mistakes, pieces moving backwards, on the wrong spaces, jumping to other players' tracks, and not adding up, including the fact that this 3 that Alan just rolled would only get him within 6 spaces of the finish at best. But instead of putting you through all that, here's 23 sins plus 15 for the time I spent on it, and another 25 because hanging all of it would have been super easy to keep track of, you lazy, mathematically challenged, slapstick-loving, continuity...
Yes! He got a good point.
Real-world bullet? How would the game pull it back in? Yes, I know the game is reversing all the consequences, but it's only pulling back the things it released. In the accurate version, Alan takes the bullet to the head, Sarah screams a nightmarish scream, but they both still wake up in 1969, just a tad bit more traumatized. Oh, great gravy on Mashed Potato Mountain. Time travel? The movie can't even handle the rules of its own game, let alone the complexity that goes along with resetting a timeline.
I'm so glad you're back.
Only been gone 5 minutes.
5 minutes? I hope this is a terrible estimation on Sam's part, because even before getting sucked into the game, Alan had time to finish his meal, pack all the things to prepare to run away, talk to Sarah at the door, and start playing the game, which would take much longer.
Holy smokes, Judy and Peter!
Alan, they're not there.
How does she know without going up to the attic to check? The game can literally reset time and conjure people and animals out of thin air. Surely transporting Judy and Peter to 1969 isn't outside the realm of possibility here. Just go freaking look to be sure, jeez.
Kids, say hi to Mr. and Mrs. Parrish.
In the original timeline, the kids moved to this small town because their parents died in Canada. But how did they end up here in this timeline? It's not like Alan...
Oh, no, that's easy. They work for him.
Yeah. Yeah. Their parents work for him.
Debate now about whether or not Jumanji is a Christmas movie, because I'm sick of that Die Hard.
I'm sick of that Die Hard shit.
I swear to God, if Dwayne Johnson isn't wearing a beret and eating croissants in the sequel, I'm calling bullshit.
Sentence?
So, does anybody want to play Parcheesi?
Good. Why don't you live in it?
I did. I wouldn't be who I am today if it weren't for my years there.
But I don't want your life.
Well, Peter and I play, and you just sort of watch.
Thanks. I've seen it.
This is not a democracy, it's a cheerocracy.
Oh, they're
beautiful.
Oh, yeah, they're beautiful. Don't touch the purple ones. They shoot poisonous barbs.
Watch out, they spit.
Watch out, they spit.
Fire is inherent in the system! Help, help, I'm being repressed!
Now, sink into the floor.
Wait.
Smile, my boy. Sunrise.
Thanks. Together.
Yeah, I was waiting for that.
Feed me all night long.
Long.
The price is wrong, bitch.
Yeah! So overall, essentially the biggest problems are the 90s cliches, the bad CG, and the fact if you're really not paying attention to them playing the board game, Alan rolling a 3 would have ended the game.
No, it wouldn't, because you start realizing counting the spaces going, he would have won the game.
Board game plot holes and board game ability plot holes.
Yeah, in a way, and then the extra hand that we saw in that one shot.
But still!
Overall, they said, it's like a lot of it was just not a lot of cliches that we got from that genre. That's all it was. Yeah. A lot of it is. You know, they did bring up certain things, and like we said, there's certain elements where they brought up where we're like, magic. You know, that's the only thing you can really explain of their speed or why they do this or why they do that. Magic.
Yeah, so I think for the most part it nailed everything that was right about it, everything that was wrong about it, everything that was enjoyably bad about it.
Yeah.
You know, so overall I think they did another great job, and yeah, still can't wait to see the...
I can't wait to see the sequel. I really can't wait to see the sequel.
Yeah, so other than that though, if you're new to the channel, you can hit the like button. If you want to talk some more about stuff like this, comment down below. If you want to share us around, share it around. And if you like us just a little bit more than anybody else, when it comes to talking about Jumanji, hit that subscribe button down below. And if you're also mobile, hit that bell icon.
Let us know what you thought of CinemaSins, everything wrong with it pretty much for the film. Did you miss out, did they miss anything that you would have brought up? Definitely let us know in the comments below. Let us know what you, even if you loved it all, what was your favorite part of the CinemaSins video? Again, we haven't seen the sequel. It is a part of our list of sequels to watch. But if you've seen it already, of course, no spoilers. You can tell us if it was good or not. Either which way, we still want to go see it ourselves. So, but anyways, put down what you thought of our reaction to this, and most of all, thank you for watching.
So until next time, I'm Kristen.
I'm Christopher.
And this was another Jumanji-filled episode of SRB.
See ya!
Later.
Hey guys, thanks for watching.
Yeah, and if you want to see any more of our videos, check out the playlist links down below in the description.
And you can also check out our Twitter account pretty much down below at Super React Bros.